Are we recording? Okay. What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I'm here with Michelle and Dina. And we are discussing episode 5 of Outlander Blood of My Blood. We are at the halfway point of season 1. And I'm going to go ahead and let Michelle get started because I know she got some things to say about this episode. How you feeling, Michelle?
Okay, so wait a second. Now I got to go back into the stuff that I said. Okay. I don't even know where to begin.
Let's just go ahead and get Murtaugh out the way. Because
That's it. I had to scream and I turned the TV off and I was like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna be able to continue watching this show. That man was hurt. He was hurt. And all the time, your friend Brian could have told you. He could have told you when he said, "Oh, why you up so early? You gonna leave without me?" And he's sitting here pouring his heart out about this girl. Brian, you could have said something then. To have him come and see it. To see it. My heart was broken.
That was rough.
And then you get your butt beat an hour later.
That was harsh too. Like there was literally no reason for that. Like
it wasn't.
Archbug is,
but we know. Bitch. I mean, we've already established Archbug is just an asshole. Ugh. He's just an asshole, just be an asshole.
He is. He
didn't have to do that. But I mean, did he go beat up the other guys who stood up for the May King?
No.
He just beat up Murtaugh because Murtaugh was the first.
Yeah.
But Murtaugh must have later learned some fighting skills because I'm like, dude, you are so much better older.
You think?
But I think it's also because he was drunk.
Once, and
he was drunk too.
Mm-hmm. He was, but he has not been hardened yet.
Yeah, that's true.
You can see it coming.
That's true.
You can
I really
see
feel like after that, probably, this might be where the turn for Murtaugh is. I'm not saying that's where he just became hard, but he probably was like, okay, you know what? I'm too soft.
This will make you hard because your best friend, who you literally every time y'all are together, Ellen, and he over there like, okay, you can find you another woman.
Cool.
No, I can't. Ellen, and then I see y'all kissing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I will say this: the way that it's gone down, and then thinking about the future, the regular Outlander show, again, going back to the whole thing, every time we hear Murtaugh talk about Jamie's parents, he mainly only talks about Ellen. He almost never mentions Brian.
So that's a good point.
I feel like that probably broke the friendship. But because because he loved Ellen so much, he, when they named him Godfather, maybe that was kind of the olive branch for Brian towards Murtaugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving a little Snapey, but not creepy Snape, but like.
And the sad part is though, and we see it that way, and side note, come out of the show. It could be because she didn't have them as friends initially. And then in writing the show, you think maybe they decide to make them friends?
It's possible. Again, I know that she is writing a Brian and Ellen book.
Yeah. But so you see what I'm saying? Like when before it was like, oh, he was a family friend, but she never like really put him with anyone except for Ellen. And now when you can really flesh out the story, it would be good.
Yeah.
A story if he was friends. And maybe that's why. I'm just hoping that is the reason why. I don't see how they can recover. I can't. They could have recovered if he said something.
Yeah.
Earlier on, like I met someone too, and I'm thinking we are talking about the same woman.
Same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play it off. I'm really thinking you're talking about the same woman.
Especially since
does mine have red hair? Does yours have like play it off?
Yeah. Yeah.
But every time you do things,
never mentioned Ellen by name at first.
No, he could have played it off.
Been, I didn't realize this was who you had, and then at that point, Murtaugh really can't get mad because you've never even spoken a word to this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Which It's just I hate that
That's
it's
the
coming out this way.
Yeah. That's the
Because
other part that kind of sucks.
yes,
It's like you honestly don't even know her. So it's not like he literally stole your woman.
right.
Like I get the point of him being hurt because what Brian did was crappy, but I know Brian was afraid. You know, he knew it was gonna hurt him and he was afraid. So I get that. But like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like he took this woman from that woman ain't know he was alive.
Right.
And had no care in her heart for him at all. So he was living on a fantasy and a dream.
And her and Brian didn't plan this.
Yeah.
They fell in
That too.
love by accident. You know, they crossed paths by accident. And again, I think the reason why Ellen probably was drawn to Brian was because Brian was the one person who wasn't trying to hit on her.
Yeah.
He was the one person who was just trying to be, you know, off hidden, not be bothered.
Just
And
like
she
her.
maybe found a kindred spirit in that.
Yeah.
But I mean, and even though we can sit here and justify all of this stuff, we understand both sides, but either way it goes, it still sucks that this is the way Murtaugh had to find out.
Yeah, man.
You
It
know,
That was
it, it
hard.
did. I mean, I was like, no.
right? Because I feel like this: if Brian had said something to Murtaugh and was like, "Hey, so about that Ellen girl that you were talking about, so I met a girl at Leoc, and we talked a little bit, we fell in love, and I didn't realize it was your Ellen until now. I'm so sorry, blah 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 blah."
Mm-hmm.
He could have done that, and then maybe
Could have.
Murtaugh could have understood that, and Murtaugh could have turned his attentions elsewhere, like maybe Jocasta, you know, instead of just.
But she was married too, so
Well, she was married.
She
though.
was married too, but we'll get to that because I got some thoughts about that whole thing too. But it's like I feel like Brian, he could have handled it better, but again, we are also talking about some, I don't want to say immature, but it's like they are not as, I don't know what the word I want to use is.
they're not
I just don't
savvy
think,
in these
yeah,
types
I
of
just don't
things.
think Brian knew how to fix that situation.
Yeah.
Because again, everything that we know about Brian, he's always been stand up, he's always been honest, he's always been like loyal. Of course, now we're seeing this in a different light, but when you are that type of person and you know that the one thing that you didn't count on, the one thing that has happened is the thing that's going to hurt that person, like how do you figure out how to do that? I just don't think he knew how to handle that because it was so unexpected, you know.
Yep.
But poor Murtaugh, I mean, he's hurt and he's
I
drunk.
want to give him credit, but I still don't give him credit. He still could have said something to his friend.
Oh, Brian. Oh, yeah.
No, that's true. He still
I'm
should have
trying.
said something.
I'm trying because
No.
you real good at y'all finding lovely hiding places and places to do what y'all need to do so you can
To
figure
get
out how to tell
ruined,
your friend. I'm just
to get
saying.
ruined, ruin
Yeah,
Yes,
me.
I'm just
ruin
saying.
me.
You know.
Oh,
We'll
what?
talk about the ruin me later.
Okay,
I want to
so
finish out with Murtaugh because I mean it's just it goes from bad to worse for him because like you said, he comes out of his tent, he's drunk, he bumps into Arch Bug, and then Arch is the one who sits here. He was like, "Oh, you the one that challenged my master at the for making. Oh, you got to eye on his woman, blah blah blah." And he beats Murtaugh up, and it's like you can clearly see this man is drunk.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, granted, Murtaugh shot off at the mouth, which we do know Murtaugh is good for doing sometimes. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm not the only one who had an eye for her, and he don't deserve her anyway." Which all of these things are true, but he could have just left Murtaugh alone. He could have let Murtaugh just, you know, sit in his cups and just sit in his feelings and be done with it. But no, you have to add insult to injury by beating him up. And I was looking at this, I was like, okay, so I mean, it's not unexpected because it's Arch Bug, but still, it's just kind of like Murtaugh has had enough. He's had enough. And then later on, you get into this whole thing with Jocasta, and it seems like you're about to take your mind off stuff, and then you call her Ellen's name, which I felt bad for her, but only momentarily.
I did too.
I'm not. I don't really care for Jocasta right now. I don't.
Well, because
I'm
she's a
okay with her.
hypocrite.
I was okay with her because of the conversation in the buggy. I was okay because now you know where she's coming from. You
But
do.
you know
Right.
what?
You have to
But
think
she,
about it in her eyes. First of all, we have to go back. We got to go back. First of all, how your daddy is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your sister's the favorite. Right there, that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, you knew your sister was involved with you getting a suitor. You don't know
yeah,
how she was involved because she never talked to you about it to currently now when she's saying, well, I was trying to help you get away from other people.
yeah,
I didn't
for
know that
worse.
at the time. For me, I'm looking like you running things and I get this old ass man Cameron.
But
Mm-hmm.
everybody is getting old ass men back then.
Right, but still, your sister was involved.
I
Your
know.
sister
Now
who doesn't
telling
have
you.
to get married. Yeah, no,
Right.
I get that.
And
I
she
get
didn't
that.
have to get married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't know until she telling you now, like, no, there was other people who was just way worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to help. Well, at the time, she didn't know that. She just thinking the girl of privilege.
Yep.
I'm now with Cameron, who I'm just supposed to look pretty and all that. But I'm
Right.
feeling Jocasta because
Right.
she's like, what happens? We gonna keep it here. So she going to go look for
But
some
that's the
luck.
thing that bothers me about her is because she acts like she's so pure. But as soon as she got her sister was just like, look, go get yours. I ain't gonna say nothing while I go get mine. We can make a deal. She was like, okay, fine,
She's
let's
been
go.
flirting with Murtaugh since episode
Yeah,
Right.
one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, I don't know.
She
She just
needed a
annoys me.
reason.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
again,
right. Well, she
I
she
don't have
needed
a
a
fault
way to
with
do
her.
it without getting in trouble.
Right. That
Yeah.
too. And I don't have a problem with her doing that because yes, Jocasta's married, but again, let's talk about this. These are arranged marriages. These are not love matches. She is married to somebody who's
Oh
probably
yeah,
old
yeah.
enough to be
Oh
her
no,
grandsire.
I'm all for
So
what she
No,
was trying to do.
so
yeah.
I'm all
I
for it.
don't have a
I'm
problem with
I'm
all
good
that.
with her.
I
Yeah,
got a
getting it.
problem with
However, I
her.
wasn't
I just
mad at her when she was like, okay, I'll keep your secret. Can I get mama's necklace though?
No. But even before that, like just her pettiness and her
yeah.
just I don't know. It's like you want to sit here and be all nasty and snarky to your sister, which yes, there are some reasons, and I get it. But then you sit here and you want to be nasty to her and say things to her, and then want to get mad at her when she comes back at you. Like, you want to talk about, oh yeah, you gonna have some bears and stuff. She's like, oh yeah, I see you ain't had none yet. And you want to get mad at her, but you
Well,
sitting
see,
here
that
like,
was low. That was low though.
so
Well,
was
that's the
what
Don't be
thing.
talking
Jocasta
about my
was doing.
infertility. Don't be talking about my infertility. That ain't that. See, you had to go that low. See, you still free. You just now had to marry someone, and I'm just talking about you being an old maid because you are an old maid. But you
And
ain't had to
guess
bring
what?
out. And I'm an
But
old
that's
maid
the
too with no kids. But you ain't had to say that now.
but that's
But
the thing about Jocasta I don't like. She can't handle what she dish out. Like you
Yeah,
right.
that's
can't
true.
be treating your sister like complete trash. Because to be fair, other than her maybe marrying her off, which is something that even Ellen didn't know was a problem. She has been so bitchy to her, and just for no, just
Right.
because the other sister ain't bitchy towards her.
Right.
So like Jocasta has her own feelings, and she ain't never talked to her about it. And then you come snapping off the mouth, oh, you an old man, you this, you that, trying to tear her down. And then she's like, oh, but you can't have no baby. So who got the real problem?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, but
And
oh,
then the
friends,
whole thing about
friends.
when and then when she's there talking to Malcolm and she was like, oh yes, I'm pleased to be reunited. Oh no, she's being modest. She's been talking about you the whole way, bitch.
Well, that helped though for her to do that. But
No.
friends, listen, we know Ellen has won. Okay, she got a love of her life. She got all the men in the town chasing her, and Jocasta got what? What does she have? Old man Cameron can't even get
oh,
her mama's necklace. Okay, that's all she has is her bitterness and her snarkiness.
But the
That's all she
other
got.
thing, but the
Let
other
her
thing about
have it.
but the other thing
Let
about
her have
Jocasta,
it.
this is
And then
even
that
within
man
the
called her
older.
name. He called another woman's
yeah,
name.
that right there,
That's
boy.
her fault because
Ooh.
she knew that man was in love with her sister. That's her
But
fault.
I'm just all the men are. So where do you go from here?
She should have left. She should have left well enough alone.
She was just trying to find some tenderness. She wanted to be wanted
And
too.
I get
No,
that, but you
which
know
I
what?
get that. I do get that.
I get it. But you knew that man was in love with your sister.
Yeah.
But for the emotional trophy, Ellen again wins. She gonna win.
A drunk
Jocasta has
man, even.
nothing.
But here's the thing:
Nothing.
maybe Jocasta's lot in
And she
life
becomes
wouldn't be
blind.
so
I
bad.
mean, we gotta care a little bit for her. Just a
And
little
she
bit.
becomes blind. That's
Just a little
true.
bit. Just
No, because the whole thing with Jocasta is, and this is even in the future, Jocasta is one of those people. She's all about she's about the reputation. She's about the riches and all. She's about the status. That, I mean, you can tell that from the first conversation or the first thing that she says to Ellen in the cart. She was like, "Oh yeah, look at all this being done for you. You sit here thinking about the gowns and stuff." And Ellen's like, "Ain't none of that on my mind." And I think that's one of the things that I guess I don't like about Jocasta, because all of the things that she values, she's mad because all of that stuff is coming towards her sister, and her sister don't care about it. Like, she really
right.
doesn't care
But
about none of that stuff.
and that's why I
And
really do feel sorry for her, because that is if I've got his name already. Red John, what's his name? Big Red.
Red Jacob.
Red Jacob.
Red Jacob. If Red Jacob really did his job as a father, you wouldn't have this issue. Because ultimately, yeah, you had two sons, you treat them like trash. Then you have these daughters, you treat one, I'm sorry, you treat one above all other kids.
Mm-hmm.
That does affect the other kid growing up. No, it's not right for her to feel that way, but that's all she has.
But
That's
Janet
what
doesn't have that
but she
problem.
was brought up like that. Who, Ellen? Because
Janet.
who?
Janet
But
doesn't have
Janet
that
didn't
problem.
have as long of the Janet's experience is going to be different. Is
How?
she younger? Every child's
Everybody,
experience,
all of them are younger. Ellen is the
right?
oldest. Jocasta is the
And
youngest.
Jocasta's the baby.
Is she the baby, or
Yes,
the other
she
one's
is.
the baby?
No, Jocasta is the baby.
Okay, so everyone's experience within the family unit is different. Did Jocasta? When did Mama die? Was Mama died because of Jocasta? Like what? We got to know. We need
I don't
Jocasta's
know.
story.
I don't think
We
we
need the
figured. Yeah,
story.
yeah, but I mean,
Because
even as an
she could have
adult,
been raised that, you know what, you're beautiful because she's beautiful. You're beautiful, and that's what you're going to be, and you're going to be someone's trophy. And you need to surround yourself with riches. Ellen wasn't taught that. Ellen was taught strategy, war term. Like she was taught to rule.
mm-hmm. Hold on, Dina, you're muted.
Sorry. I was a dog barking and I was like, oh, mute that. But yeah, no, I feel like Jocasta's beautiful. She just doesn't know that she's beautiful because everybody's so obsessed with what's going on with Ellen. And part of the reason why, other than her just being pretty, obviously, but part of the reason I feel like people really are drawn to Ellen is because she had that relationship with Red Jacob. So she's so independent and she's so strong minded. And she, like you said before, nobody can get to her. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why they want her. Whereas Jocasta, she's beautiful. She her husband gonna die at some point. Like, go marry somebody else, like whatever. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she just her not being wanted, not because she's not beautiful, but just not having that same whatever fire or whatever, because she's a different personality. I feel like that's hard for her because I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to get to, but like, there's something about how she envies her that's not just about her beauty. It's like the whole package of everything Ellen stands
Mm-hmm.
for. She
Mm-hmm.
hates
Yeah.
because she doesn't have how that lined up because she's pretty too. So she could have probably had her pick too. But
But she wasn't
nobody
given a
was,
chance. Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody was checking for her like that because Red Jacob put all the focus on Ellen,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to get to, but
No, you're right.
And I
I
guess
don't know.
I kind of have to separate, because it's like the older Jocasta too. Like,
Yeah.
she has her moments, but for the most part, I don't really care for her either, just because of the way that she is, the way that she treats people who are under her, or that she looks at as under her. Like, she has a bit of a superiority complex, even now as a a younger person, you know, I mean, I don't know. There's something about the way that she interacts, not just with Ellen, but with other people too that we've seen. That she kind of has this air about herself that she is better.
She is elitist.
Yeah, that, and I guess that is it, because I don't like that kind of attitude just in general everyday life. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but
I know what you're saying.
You know, it's like every time that we've seen her interactions with Ellen, even with this episode, this is the first episode where Ellen gave back what she was getting from Jocasta.
Right.
Anything that we've seen before, Jocasta has run off at the mouth, said something smart. Ellen has never taken the bait. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably the thing that really bothers me about Jocasta, because it's like, you know what? Your sister could put you in your place right now. She really could.
Right. And you know what? I realized why she took the bait this time, because you are now in the situation your sister was in.
But I like that about Ellen, because she at least acknowledged, like, hey, now that I'm in that situation, like, does it make you happy? Because I'm just saying, like, you didn't like being here, so why are you taunting me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing I love about Ellen, is she's actually just really just smart. Like,
right. So at the other time, she never paid any attention to her sister at all. It didn't mean nothing to her sister. I mean, honestly, Jocasta could say all she wanted to. I mean, I get to do what I want. I mean, it was great. But now I'm in a situation that's like my sister. I'm like, oh, hell, this ain't great either. Okay. So stop talking to me. Your jokes ain't funny.
I guess I get it. I don't know.
I didn't say she was the greatest. I said, now I understand, and I'm feeling her, and I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Throughout.
I do feel bad for her, because
I did.
Because nobody wants to be in that situation. And I guess also I'm sitting here thinking, like, at some point, like, if you think about Jocasta's history, I think this husband dies, and then she marries another Cameron, and then that husband dies, and then she ends up marrying the Cameron who she had the children with, that stole the gold. So first of all, you just need to come away from them damn Camerons.
I know. Girl, what you doing?
Because obviously, yeah.
But I guess too, you know, there was that whole thing too back in the day where, like, if you got married or whatever, your husband died, like, a lot of times they wouldn't want to marry you because you weren't a virgin anymore, or you weren't, like, fresh anymore. So maybe she could only get Camerons, other than obviously Murtaugh clearly had a thing for her at some point. But like, maybe she could only get a Cameron to marry her, or that was the way for her to keep her Cameron money or whatever she had.
Okay.
Because because
I don't know what the circumstances were for the second husband. She just mentioned having married 3 Cameron men. I don't think the main show ever went into like detail, except for that last one, and it was only because she was telling Murtaugh about everything that she had lost.
Okay.
So yeah,
when she ended up coming to America. So but she also didn't have, like, she never had kids with this guy, this first Cameron.
I think she had kids. I think all her kids, she had 3 kids with the third Cameron husband. She had the 2 older ones who were married with kids. They were all killed during Culloden. And then the younger one, you know, was killed on the road by her husband by accident. When they was trying to get the remember they got stopped on the road.
Yes,
I do remember that. The British soldiers found the gold, and he was trying to shoot one of the British soldiers, and ended up he was the one that shot her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. God.
Yeah.
She had a rough life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she went blind. So, you know, maybe
so that's what I'm saying. Time. So we just gonna give her, you know, just a couple of points
maybe we should just let Jocasta have it.
Yeah, let her have it for right now. Because guess what? Even though Ellen is in the situation she was in, Ellen still ended up marrying the love of her life. So
she ended up dying. So,
but she got loved, and she was loved and had children.
Yeah,
and she loved them before she died. And Jocasta's still chasing that. So you know what I'm saying. So just saying.
Poor Murtaugh.
She get payback. All right.
Okay, so obviously it's the whole they get to the Beltane or whatever, but like
Yes.
so they're having that whole conversation in the carriage, but I can't remember what was said because I got it on and I'm trying to remember what was said because when they were having the conversation was Ned talking up top about something? I can't remember what was
No, he
happening.
wasn't talking up top when they were going back and forth. He was like, okay, y'all, can y'all please stop y'all about as worse as your brothers?
Okay, that's okay
Because
because I
he
can
was
remember what he was.
listening to
Okay,
them bicker back and forth.
okay,
Uh-huh. So yeah, that was funny because he was like, my goodness, y'all will give Colin and Dougal a run for that money. Which is
which
true.
is funny.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, another person I felt so bad for was Malcolm Grant. I was like, he don't deserve this.
Only reason why I don't feel anything for Malcolm Grant is because his dad is an asshole, and I feel like that's who he gonna be.
Well, he not there yet,
I know,
but he
I
made her something
know.
like he really is into this and
Yeah,
don't know
he
that
is.
she ain't nowhere near into this
I
because
And I
she
mean,
will
he
just
say
is.
this
smiling
about
at him.
Ellen. Ellen is Ellen can lie her ass off
She can.
because this whole episode, you would really think that she was into Malcolm Grant.
You do. That's why I
Yeah,
felt bad for him. I was like, you could
yeah.
pretend like you not wanting to do this, but you giving him the eyes. And even though you really wanted to give Brian the eyes with the dancing, you
Yeah.
even gave it to Malcolm. So Malcolm is all confused.
Yeah. I mean, by the by the end of Beltane's celebration or whatever, honey, you could not tell that. Oh, because even Brian was looking like, wait, what? Oh my
No,
gosh.
I don't think that was what Brian's look was. Brian was like, okay, I see what you were over there pretending, but I remember what you were doing a couple of hours ago. That's what that looked
Right.
like.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So she is good. She is
She is.
good.
She is. So, but
And
I
it's not
mean,
right because that man really, really loves her. Made a little heart when he was a kid for her. This is a problem. It's not gonna turn out right.
Yeah.
but that's what happens when you find your true love, in an instant, and all of a sudden he's your whole world, and you lose your virginity to him, and you say ruin me, and then after that, then y'all want to have a let's get to know each other conversation. Like,
Uh,
this
I
is
had to pause this because
that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I was saying in the earlier episodes. I said it's so funny how they look at one another, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I love this person more than life. Like, you don't
Mhm.
even know them. You don't know anything about them, but you are literally about to risk your whole clan for
Mhm.
this man.
Mhm.
The whole
that's that
clan.
that's that star-crossed, like it's
Yeah, like
something.
the touch.
Yeah,
Even when they touch each other, it's just magical.
yeah.
And how do we know it wouldn't have been magical if she had touched Murtaugh? I mean, I'm just
She
saying.
already she has trust me, she ain't feeling she felt the fireworks across a bridge. So clearly if she did feel
I
something
know.
for him, she would have felt something.
I know. I just find it funny how quickly they fall in love with each other in the 1700s. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, to be fair, if you look at a lot of these men in the background, aside from Murtaugh, who was very cute,
Hmm.
Dougal, who was fine as all get out, ain't too many fine people, ain't too many good looking mofos. I'm
I know.
sorry. Brian got it.
I know. And then also, she did talk about just, some of the qualities that she sees in him that she doesn't see in other men. And like I said, I have a feeling she was drawn to him because he was one of the people who wasn't trying to talk to her. Like, there's something about knowing people are attracted to you, but when you are falling over yourself trying to get someone's attention, and this person has clearly made it, like, she has made it known to everybody that she wasn't interested in looking for a man. She wasn't interested in a husband. Like, all these people
Mm-mm.
tripping over themselves to talk to her, like the Schuyler sisters. I mean, they are really making themselves known. And she's like, hi, okay. I don't want it. And I think just the fact that he was not doing that, she was just kind of like, oh, okay. And then she saw him and she was like, wait, because that's the other thing. They were having a conversation with each other, just a regular conversation, not even knowing what each other looked like. They were having it, with this barrier. So it's like there wasn't any of that superficiality in their meeting. There wasn't Ellen, there's Ellen MacKenzie. She's beautiful. I want to marry her. I could be the worst person in the world, like she was saying in the carriage. She was like, yeah, if I'm supposed to have all these virtues, then maybe Colin needs to tell Malcolm Grant he's not getting what he needs to get. You know what I'm saying? But I just, as ridiculous as that seems to me, sometimes, I will say sometimes, it just, I don't know, it does seem to fit for them. Like when you see them on the screen, you feel it. And I think Dina and I were talking about this prior to us recording. His mannerisms and the way that he mimics Sam as Jamie, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or if it's just natural to the way he plays the character. They did. Yeah. I have to say it again. They did a phenomenal job with that casting him as Brian. Because you see a lot of the similarities in those characters. And then when him and Ellen are together and they're kind of declaring themselves for each other, and then the whole thing in the church happens, I was just like, okay, I'm watching the wedding scene again. It took about as long. I'm like, y'all talking about the light is fading. I think y'all need to get a hurry on with this ruining process.
I'm on it right now.
Ruined me. I was like, oh,
hello,
okay, Ellen MacKenzie.
Right. But I was telling Hanako the other day, because I was watching these or whatever, and like they took like 45 minutes for this scene. I was like, please just take off the clothes and move on with it. It took all this time to unbuckle every string and pull off every belt.
And still had the shoes on. Why is it? I was thinking that at the end. I was like, man, they still got those boots on.
Because I'm sitting here like,
the boots weren't important.
They're going to get caught with this because they taking entirely.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, do you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, on the grass.
It still wasn't as long as Jamie and Claire's reunion, because that took forever. That one took forever, but I mean, it was a beautiful scene. And going back to throwbacks, the whole thing where they're about to be together, and Brian is like, wait, nope. I did say I didn't want to, I didn't want to call into question your virtue or whatever. So he pulls the little cloth so that they can hand fast. And I was like, oh, okay, it's just like Roger and Brianna. I was like, okay, I hope they don't have the kind of drama that Roger and Brianna had, because oh my God. But I mean, it was a beautiful scene, but again, it was, I don't want to say it was hard to enjoy that scene, but it did feel kind of, it felt kind of wrong to root for them and this beautiful scene right after Murtaugh got his heart broken. It was
yeah, because it's like literally on now. They're they're tying their hands together. Yeah. But yeah, it is hard. And how she got Malcolm Grant just running around helping everyone just so he can see and spend time with them.
I really don't care about. Yeah,
I'm just saying they got a lot of people. They hurting a lot of people's feelings.
They are, but this hand fastening is so beautiful. Oh my God, Brian's so fine. Why is he so fine, child?
But at first, I'm so stupid because I'm like, first when he started ripping, I'm like, what are we about to do here?
Like I was thinking about that. I was like, isn't somebody gonna notice your kilt is ripped later on? Like,
it don't matter.
I guess not. He was like, look, I'm gonna do this.
He got a hold,
right?
Like.
Once we tied up, we can use blindfold, tied up, do what you want to do out in this castle.
Oh my gosh. Look, honey. I was like mouth open this whole scene because I was just like,
I was almost waiting for them to get caught though. I was
I was just like, Please hurry. Please, I want y'all to be able to get it in. Please.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But no,
Yes.
I was really, I actually was really kind of worried that it was going to be Murtaugh to catch them. And I was like, oh no, I really don't want this to happen.
Well, he already caught him, so
I
he
mean,
didn't.
but catching them in a kiss is different from
Yeah.
catching them in the act.
Yeah, but
And I
right
was
now to
really,
him,
fight.
it don't even
I
matter.
know.
It's all the same.
I know.
That
I
would have been
know.
a fight, though, God. No, it wouldn't have been the same. Not you taking her virtue. It's one thing to be kissing in the woods, but you in here taking her virtue. Oh, I'm gonna murder you, sir.
Right.
You were. Oh no.
Unless he was wondering, okay, so this must not have been the first time for y'all, then that would have been an even bigger fight.
Oh, and that's so heartbreaking because at some point he gonna have to tell him how long this has been happening. You know.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's obvious it's been happening since Leoc. So it's like now, and you see how long it's been, because when we see Julia at the beginning of this episode, Julia is damn near due. And remember when they went through the stones right before, when they were in the car, she was talking about they didn't have to tell Claire yet because she was like, I won't be showing for a few months anyway. So she was all the way at the beginning of her pregnancy when this all started. So they've been in the 1700s now at least 7 months, I would say.
Yeah.
Because she looks like she's almost due to give birth.
Yeah.
So that's heartbreak on a whole other thing. And we'll get to Julia and Henry in a minute. But I mean, if you think about that, this has been going on for months now, that Brian and Ellen have kind of been in love. And I know that we only saw the one meeting with them and Julia, but it's kind of like, when I'm sitting here putting it into that, yeah, I kind of agree with Michelle. You've had plenty of time to say something. It's been months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that just hit me. It's been months.
Especially when he specifically knows that they're there now because they know she's going to be there, and he's like, I got to shoot my shot. Brian, he really should have said something.
Right. And he been talking about her every time they're together. I know that man's been saying Ellen.
Right.
And then when he jumped up for the May Queen dance thing, and Murtaugh looked over, like, I wonder, did he feel at that point that he was just trying to back him up?
I think he did.
He probably thought that, yes.
Yep. And that's sad in itself.
Yep. Yeah. Because once you go and you see, now you realize that it was a whole different thing. So it's kind of like, there's heartbreak on several levels for Murtaugh, not just because you've lost the girl and you've lost the girl to your best friend, but this person has been making it seem like they have been supporting you, or maybe not even making it seem. Murtaugh has been filling in those blanks, and Brian has not said otherwise. Mm-hmm. So, I do feel bad for Murtaugh. I really do. Like, and I understand Brian and Ellen, we know they're the end game. We know that they have to be together in order for Jamie to be here, in order for us to have the Jamie and Claire story. So I'm not mad in that sense about the Brian and Ellen thing. I understand, you fell in love, you kind of gotten to the point where it's just like, we want to be together and we don't care who we hurt, but we know the people who are getting hurt. And so that's what makes it a little bit harder, or it keeps us from being joyous. Because like, even with Claire and Jamie, I feel like we could actually see the two of them falling in love. Like, they actually built a friendship first before Claire fell in love with him. Jamie was gone, like, from the moment he laid eyes on her, but we weren't all that attached to Frank. So again, because we got to see the buildup of Jamie and Claire, I know, but I mean, we got to see a little bit of her and Frank. So in one sense, it was kind of like, oh, I do feel bad for Frank, but we didn't see the buildup of the relationship with her and Frank. Frank was already there. Yeah. We actually got to experience.
I felt bad for Frank.
With with we got to see it from start with Jamie and Claire, which is, it makes it easier to be a part of this story. Brian and Ellen, let's be honest, yes, we know that this is a love story. Yes, we know that they are fated to be together, but we really haven't seen much of them together. We don't have that build up like we did with, let's put on the flip side, seeing Julia and Henry fall in love.
Yeah, we didn't get a
There
lot of
was the
that.
build up because we got to kind of go along that journey, even though we knew, okay, they're already together, but y'all gave it to us and it was more consistent. Like we've seen them writing the letters to each other. We saw their first meeting. We've seen them fall in love. We saw them get married. We've actually been a witness to that relationship in a sense. And we haven't really had a chance to do that with Brian and Ellen. So it's easier, I think, to be like, okay, yeah, y'all are cute, but y'all hurting my boy over here. It's easy to kind of.
Well, because think about it, they haven't been able to write. They can't even write each other. They haven't had any communication. They've been living off pure fumes for however many months it's been since the last time they saw each other. Like pure fumes. Because even with Julia and Henry, they're narrating the show. They're like the narrators, and so you can hear what they're at least thinking, And so with this, we're just kind of getting when they're together. That's it, and they've only been together at this point. This is number four times that they've been together in each other's presence. So
I guess the first time was in the stable. The second time was the bridge. The third time was when he went to Leoc, and then this. So
So it's like if they had, let's say that they were able to like exchange secret notes and we could hear their romance. And maybe it's true. Maybe we'd be more like, But it is, I get that.
Yeah, and I know part of that is because again, we kind of know the story of Brian and Ellen. They're filling in the blanks right now, but we already know that they end up together.
Right? Yeah.
So but again, it's kind of. I don't want to say it's hard to follow their story. It is. I mean, it's easy to follow their story, but again, because of who is involved and who's getting hurt, I can't be all, yes, I'm for Brian and Ellen right now. Because my heart really does hurt for Murtaugh. Like, I feel Michelle on this on so many levels. Like, when I saw this episode, I was like, oh, Michelle is about to hate Brian. I already knew. I was like, I don't want to hate him. But yeah, right now, you are not the coolest, you ain't the coolest friend, Brian. You could have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
Just a little
bit. Definitely.
Yeah. So
this boy's so cute though. He's so adorable. His little innocent face. They could not have picked a better little innocent face, Murtaugh. Like he just looks so innocent, like he just doesn't know anything about how the world works. I feel so sorry for him.
Right.
And this stupid bug just comes and beats this poor baby. Just like savage.
Yeah, he did.
Like all that wasn't necessary. You could have just punched him once and been done with it.
It's savage.
But I guess at the same time, you do have to show us the type of person that Archbug is, because it's like, this is the person who was coming after Ian. This is the person who stalked Ian.
Right.
All over the fucking country.
Rachel, right? Like,
right. So, I guess you got to show it to us. Like, he don't care that Murtaugh was just a little drunk, whatever. He still had to be vicious with him. So it's like, okay, yeah, I still don't like you.
At all.
Yeah. But did we ever find out in the main show, how Archbug came to be in Jamie's employ?
I think he was one of the people from Culloden who was in jail that he offered, like he did with the I can't think of Melville's dad. Like I think he was one of those people.
The Ardsmuir men. Okay.
Yeah, the Ardsmuir. Yeah, I think he was one of the Ardsmuir people.
Okay. Because I just sat here and thought about it, and I think I asked this question before we started recording. I was like, did Archbug and Murtaugh ever cross paths in the main show? I don't think they did when Murtaugh came to visit Fraser's Ridge. Because
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't recall if he did.
Okay. But yeah, okay, so that answers because I couldn't remember if they mentioned it in the books. That was like so many books ago, and I don't remember. I have to go back and reread. But okay, because I was going to say that would have added like an extra layer if they had interacted in the main show. But you're right, I don't think they did because, like you said, Murtaugh was in hiding for most of that, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna move away from Beltane for a minute. Let's go over to Castle Leathers because okay, I'm really trying to have some patience with Miss Porter. I really am. But you messing some stuff up, girl. You messing some stuff up. But I will say this too at the beginning. When Julia and Brian are trying to leave the castle, I need y'all to learn how to tiptoe on stone floors so
I
that
know. I
everybody can't hear
mean,
your footsteps.
they
Yeah.
made so much noise. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It is. But you know, here's another thing that is kind of on the you had months to say this information. Again, this has now been months because when they went to Leok, Julia still was not showing, right? So now she is full belly, full big, and then this is where Mrs. Porter spills the beans to Brian about Julia carrying Lord Lovett's child. And Brian, of course, is outraged, which I think is very ironic. Oh, you should have told me. Famous last words, Brian.
Right. And that made me mad because I'm
I know.
thinking, huh?
Woo!
I know.
Really?
But I think she was really trying to communicate with him, like, I'm sorry you had to find out in this way, like, please play along, please play along. But he wasn't getting it. I think she was really trying to signify to him, like, this really ain't your daddy's baby, but I can't say this in front of your mama. But he wasn't getting it. But yeah, when he said that line, I just bust out laughing.
I was like, really? Really?
Like, okay.
But then I started getting scared for Julie because I'm like, okay, the seer coming. Please don't say nothing crazy.
Okay, so let's talk about the seer.
Please don't say anything
That whole
crazy.
scene.
So Maisie is the same seer that we see in the original show.
Okay.
As the older version.
Okay.
It's the same seer. So when she's sitting there doing her reading, because again, what happens is Julia is getting ready to leave with Brian to go to Beltane to try to help him, connect with Ellen. Mrs. Porter finds them and she was like, oh no, she can't leave because the seer is coming to do a reading for the Baron. Lord Lovett does this with all his children. She was like, oh, I guess it's time for you to know she's carrying your sibling. So Brian leaves her there, takes off. He goes to Beltane. Julia is there stuck. So Maisie comes and does the reading. And it's so interesting because I feel like Maisie, some of the stuff that she is saying, she really is saying some stuff. But did you notice that when Lord Lovett asked her about the Baron and she put her hand on Julia's stomach, did you notice she pulled back and she looked at Julia and then she put her hand there? Like she felt like, oh, this is not his child.
Yes.
But okay.
She immediately knew. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
She's on her game. She knows what the truth gonna be, but she also knows she better say something so she don't get killed.
Okay, so about that.
But I think she telling the truth though. I just don't think it belongs
like she's telling
to
the truth about the baby. I just feel like she's telling him what he want to hear. So
here's the thing. She didn't tell him anything. She told him, she said, with the veil between the worlds the thinnest, I can, what I'm about to say. And then he was like, you're about to tell me that the prophecy that they said is true, that, the future Scottish king will come from the Fraser bloodline. She never confirmed or denied what he said.
That is true.
That's true. She said the other stuff, but the other stuff was good though. The other stuff was good.
Yeah,
which
the
we
other
don't.
Whisper did say that she never said the Baron was yours. He was like, "Shut your mouth."
she never said the Baron was yours. No, nor
Yeah.
did she say that
Yeah.
that this child was going to be the future king of Scotland. She
Right.
also never
She
said
said there was
any of
more than
your children was
right.
going to be the future king of Scotland. I
Yeah.
wrote
And
down
she
what
said
she
there was
said.
another kid
Mm-hmm.
also.
So she had the first thing that she said before she did the Barons
Going back
reading.
to
She
it.
said, "Field of thorns, men ensnared, bleeding, wailing, and tormented." I'm thinking that has to do with Culloden,
Culloden,
because
yeah.
she said that he did not enter the fray. He was standing over to the side victorious. Now, remember, he was the one that was kind of flip-flopping. You know, he was the one that when Jamie and them came and asked for men for the Jacobites, he refused. He signed the treaty with Colin, but then he turned around later and came. And what was it that Jamie said? He said that he saved face in front of Colin by saying that he was not going to send men, and then allowed his son to take them, because that way, if they're victorious, he can claim the glory. But if they're not victorious and they lose, then he can say, well, I didn't have any part in that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably what that was referring to, because of course they lost the Battle of Culloden. He never officially signed his men up for it, so now he can be on the side of the Brits and be like, yeah, well, I know y'all were gonna win. That's why I didn't send my you know what I'm saying. So that could be that. And then she comes into the reading about the Baron. She said there's two Barons, one after the other.
Right.
There's a lass alone with dark curls and clear blue eyes, and he was like, I don't have a need of daughter. She was like, no worry, her time is still to come. I was like, okay, she must be talking about Claire.
Yeah,
that's Claire.
She could talk. She could be talking about. She could be talking about
all the stuff she does.
The Jane, whatever that situation may be. And then she said the other Baron, a boy of great importance, of higher purpose, uniting clans for centuries to come. She said his fate hangs in the balance, but when the fate of our nation is in peril, he will have his part to play. That's the thing that's going to be interesting, because I'm really sitting here trying to think of anybody in Outlander that could have referred to. Because again, she never says that this Baron is the future king of Scotland.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's what she's talking about. So I'm like, what is she talking about? I'm sitting here thinking all kinds of things. I'm like, okay, who could she be referring to? Could she be referring to, like, does Claire, like, is Claire's brother, I don't know, somebody that we've come across? Is it someone that I think one of y'all mentioned? Could it have been no, I don't think it was you. It was, I think, in the panel that we did, either the Blood of My Blood panel or the Outlander panel we did at DragonCon. It was mentioned because minor spoiler, and I think I've discussed this with both of you guys before. Comte Saint-Germain is a time traveler. And so somebody was wondering if there's a tie between him and Claire. And I was like,
yeah, we talked about that.
But he's, as far as I know, French. And they are in Scotland. So that would make sense. But I don't know. There's just so many different ways.
It's so many unknowns.
Right. But the thing that we do know is, one, we already know that that's not Lord Lovat's son.
Right.
And obviously, Maisry also knows that is not Lord Lovat's son. Whatever she read when she touched Julia's belly.
Oh, yeah. And then she probably know, like, this woman ain't even where she's supposed to be. Like, something ain't right with her.
She could. Yeah.
Because she was just looking like,
Yeah. Like, she really got the sight. Whatever it is, she got the sight. You could tell, she felt it, she was afraid. Yeah. Because people who don't have the sight, they don't fear. They just make shit up. And they just, whatever makes a person happy, they just say it. You could see the fear in her when she was looking at that. And then she did the egg in the bowl and all that. Oh, girl was like, look, okay, I got to fix this, because
but especially
when she kill me.
When she went to touch the belly, and she kind of
looked at it real quick,
and then she put her hand on there again, like, oh, let me pretend like I was like,
she wasn't pretending. I don't think she was pretending. I really, like, when she saw her, she touched her and she looked up at her, and it almost like a look of like, yeah, this is not his baby, but you're not. It's something about you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you're not in the right time or place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
don't
she
belong
doesn't
here.
know how to say that, right? And then she touched back and was like, okay, you got a boy and he's this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Which is
and the layer over there making other shit up, and she didn't make no comments.
Right.
Whatever.
And that's
Whatever
why
you
I
think.
thought, I was like, oh, I said, she never said that, yes, your son is the King of Scotland, because I was thinking about, of course, there's a newer episode out, so I've seen it. And he mentions that whole thing again about the future King of Scotland. It's like, did she tell
she
him?
never said that.
Because
No,
And
I
I
she just
also
said
wasn't
he
really
wonder,
is
sure.
greater importance.
Yeah. And
And he
then
was
when I
like,
went back and watched it, I said, oh no, she never said anything.
she just said
was
greater
the
importance.
initial prophecy made by her as well? The one he keeps holding on to?
So that's the thing, because I don't recall ever hearing this prophecy. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay, I need to know the prophecy. So maybe they'll give us the prophecy later in one of the episodes leading up to the season finale, because
Okay.
he mentions it. And I was like, what prophecy is he talking about? But she also mentioned the Stone of Destiny. And I didn't get a chance to look up what the Stone of Destiny was, but I'm trying to remember if that was similar to the prophecy that Galus heard. That what's her name?
Yeah. That's exactly what just came up on Google when I was trying to look it up.
Really?
It was something about the prophecy. It was about what made Galus want to do her thing.
So I think we're gonna have to ponder this a little bit more and discuss it in the next episode, because when she said Stone of Destiny, I was like, wait, what is she talking about? That sounds so familiar. But I was like, okay, she can't be talking about the standing stones, because she should have said stones, unless she's talking about that one main stone. And then, okay, going back to this, here's the other question that I have. In the last episode, when Ellen was talking to Julia about Beltane and about the dancers who come in, and about the whole 100 years, like they come into the stones and they do the dances, and then when they go back, they realize 100 years have passed and everything that they have ever known has changed.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, who is coming back and telling these stories? Because y'all didn't just get this just from anywhere. Somebody had to come back and tell y'all, yeah, I went back and all this time had gone past and everything I knew was gone. Who's coming back and telling the stories?
But then also, like, 100 years is a long time for them to be still alive and coming back, because everybody ages as they travel. They still age. You know what I mean? So how are they coming back 100 years later to be able to tell it, though? That's the question.
Well,
so maybe the time period is a little exaggerated.
Well, I don't think 100 years means like maybe like specifically 100 years. It's kind of like with Claire and them. Whenever they travel, their travel is exactly 202 years forward or backwards. It's almost never different, except for this last time when Roger went back a little bit further. But it's always 202 years. So I don't know, maybe whoever was telling these stories, maybe they just said 100 years, but maybe it could have been more, or maybe that was just a guesstimate. Like, okay, they come through the stones, let's say during Beltane, and then whenever they go back, they realize 100 years have passed, or they end up 100 years. I don't know how that goes, but it's like, who's coming back and telling the story? That's what I want to know. Who is telling the stories in the 1700s? Because you're like, yeah, they've been telling these stories for who? Who's coming back? Because as far as we know, Claire and Brianna and Roger are the only ones who have, traveled back and forth, except for, from what we know of the books, maybe the Comte Saint Germain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Master Raymond, because I think it's been speculated that he's a time traveler, but I haven't gotten to the stories about Master Raymond yet that may confirm or not. but it's possible he may also be a time traveler as well. So it's like, who's telling the stories? That's really what I want to know, because that might also feed into some of this stuff that Maisie is saying, or it could have something to do with the stuff that happens in the Outlander show with this whole Jane and Fanny and Faith connection, whatever that may be.
It just changes everything we know, because we don't know.
Yeah.
And then with the seer saying that he's a greater importance, and he was saying, like, I don't know if he said like king or whatnot, even greater, his greater importance. So he's important. So Claire, if Julia has a boy, has a brother, and that brother is someone of importance, but have we met the brother? Or are we going to meet the brother?
Yeah.
We have no idea.
A boy
Or
of
we may
great
never meet the
importance.
brother, and we just find out about the things the brother did.
Higher purpose, uniting clans for centuries to come. That does sound like a king, but that could also be.
She said even greater importance than that.
No, she said a boy of great importance, higher purpose, uniting clans for centuries to come. But his fate hangs in the balance.
No, he said something. Blair said something, and she said even greater. Go back. I forgot what he said.
He said a king, I think.
And she said even greater.
Even greater, yeah.
So he is of greater importance, greater than the king. But his fate does hangs in the balance. So I don't know.
Yeah, his fate hangs in the balance. When the fate of our nation is in peril, he will have his part to play. Okay. We got to think about that. But again, very interesting that all of this is coming out about Julia's baby. And Julia's sitting there like, I was sitting there looking at her. I said, Julia, I need you to control your face.
Yeah.
Because everything that you are feeling right now is showing. You are like, oh my God, this is. First of all, I feel like she felt like all of that was just too much. Like, okay, you need to stop, because this ain't even his child. Like, she wasn't paying attention to Maisie the way I think we were paying attention to Maisie, because the way the camera focused on her face, like we were meant to pay attention to her kind of pulling back and like, oh shit, what did I just read? I don't think Julia was paying attention. Ms. Porter wasn't paying attention, except for listening to what was going on. And then, of course, later on, she goes to him and she was like, yeah, so Maisie never said that was your child. And I'm going to be honest, that's not your child. She was like, she was pregnant when she got the leathers.
And he's like, how do you know? Because I'm a woman who knows what it is to carry a child and how women act when they're pregnant.
Right.
He's like, hey, you shut your mouth.
Yeah, don't you say a word. That was
the thing that really surprised me, because he was like, if you say a word of this to anyone, the last thing you will see is Balak's dirt going across your neck. I was like, wait, she just told you this is not your child and you don't care, but it's because of what he thinks he heard.
It's going to be tied to him.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what now.
Mm-hmm.
So he don't care. That makes him happy. But my thing is, because I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to get back together, because the way things is looking, I don't know if Henry and Julia ever going to get back together.
Listen.
Wait, that's next. That's next.
But I just wonder, like, when they do finally come out and they're like, yeah, this is my husband and he's freeing me, I'm going to be with my husband, whatever, and they run away. They got to, first of all, get out of freaking Scotland, because there's no way anybody's gonna let them just run off and go free. The Grants nor the Frasers, right? So, like, they're gonna have to go immediately to the Stones and get the hell on,
right?
Because otherwise, what are they gonna be able to do? And so that's the thing. Like, I feel like since they never came back to their time, where did they end up going? And you know what's funny? I know this is weird. But what if they do make it back to the Stones and they're like, we just want to be back with our daughter Claire, but it brings them to 17, whatever, wherever Claire is now as an old lady. And they're like, what the hell? And now they're just stuck in that time period.
Right.
Because that would Yeah, that would be
And
fun. I don't know.
that's what I was
Kind of
thinking,
like
because
what
we
happened to
have one
Roger.
more season. Yeah, we
Right.
have one more season,
Right.
Mhm.
and then they do end up actually seeing her again.
That would be nice. But yeah, that would be crazy because it's like if they say, "Hey, we want to see our daughter," and they go through the stones, and what happens if all they do is they go forward 30 years and
Yeah.
here's a grown up Claire, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Why are we still in the past? Why are we still in the past? We said we want to be with our
Right.
daughter."
Or they don't make it, and the brother ends up going through the stones
Oh
and say, "I
Lord.
want to meet my sister."
If yeah, mm. Okay, that's too much for me to think about right now. We still have 5 episodes for the first season. That's
I
a lot.
know.
Okay,
The
yeah, yeah,
speculation is real
okay,
though.
So we'll wait. So going back to Miss Porter, like I really feel at this point now she's trying to protect her position, her standing, and her son's standing because
Yeah.
what is it that she said? She said Lord Lovett does the reading for all of his children. She said this plural. He's done
Mm-hmm.
this for all of his children. So either he's had more children that are either dead or that he, I guess,
He didn't
it could
claim.
be other bastards and he deemed them not worthy
Mm-hmm.
because obviously he thinks Brian is not worthy because what is it that he says when Maisry, right before she does the reading, he said, so what about the Baron? Is this child one that will be worthy of the Fraser name? I was like, oh, how dare you?
Like, excuse me?
Yeah, I was so offended for Brian when he said that, like, excuse me. And so again, now I really do want to know what the background is behind Brian's birth, behind this whole thing, because the whole vibe with Miss Porter is weird, because on the one hand, he's very dismissive of her and, literally is like, well, if you tell anybody this isn't my child, I'm going to kill you. But then in the next thing, he's like, how much I admire or how much I trust you and how much I admire your years of loyalty and stuff. And it's like something about the look on her face is there is a conflict there.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about what we were talking about in the last episode. It's almost like, again, we don't know what the situation is for them two. We know what's been said. And then, the one thing that Ned Gowan mentions in this episode. So apparently the thing that happened that caused him to lose his status, his other
Mm-hmm.
castle and everything, is that he took a noble woman, apparently kidnapped her and raped her. Or that's what he's accused of doing. So, okay, this is the first time that I think we concretely know that this is something in his character. This is not something that's like basically a rumor. Like, you literally lost your castle and everything about it. Of course, he's still blaming everything on the MacKenzies, but if what they're saying is true, if what Ned Gowan is saying is true, then we know that this is something that is in this man's character. So it kind of, I feel like it makes Miss Porter a little bit more complex because, again, if this happened to her and she ended up having a child with him, maybe she's still there because this is the better life that she could give her son, as opposed to being of course, 1700s, you got raped, oh, you're a whore, because they don't care that he would have forced her. They would have just been looking at her like, oh, you Jezebel, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So
You
maybe,
seduced him and you this. It's always the woman's fault.
right, always. So maybe she stayed there, one, to stay employed so that she could raise her child, and two, because Lord Lovett, he obviously claims Brian, even though it's always my bastard son and not his regular son. But if he does this reading for all his children, where are the rest of his children? That's a question too.
I
But
also wonder if he made him, like, maybe he had a love for Brian more than what he does now, like when he was younger, and maybe things changed as Brian got older and he realized Brian was nothing like him.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And
maybe,
that's when he,
yeah. Or maybe, you mentioned it earlier, but he did mention it in this episode, but he was talking to Ellen. Maybe when Brian went on his pilgrimage, maybe that's
right,
what caused his father to be like, oh, okay, I don't want nothing to do with you because you left me,
right, yeah.
or something
You
like that. I mean,
you
I
don't
don't know.
appreciate me, you know.
And it depends on when that happened. Did this happen like before Lord Lovett fell from prominence? Or did it
Mm,
happen afterwards? Because if it happened afterwards, he probably would have felt like Brian abandoned him in his time of need, that sort of thing. And then, of course, Brian probably came home out of a sense of duty to his dad, like, okay, yeah, my dad did this fucked up thing and caused us to lose everything, but he's still my dad. Again, 1700s mindset, like he's still my dad. I'm still going to go be the dutiful son. And then maybe he didn't want to leave his mom alone with that monster,
yeah.
So,
Or he could have also gave him his last name after he lost everything because he was like, well, it don't matter now because I ain't really the Lord and the honest to God like Lord anymore. So it really don't matter if I got a bastard son or not.
mm, that's true.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, I need
Just
that backstory too. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that whole thing, like the whole thing with Julia, and I know that she did what she did to protect herself, to
Mm-hmm.
protect her child. But it feels like this lie is now spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it didn't help with what the seer said, to be honest with
No,
you. It didn't help.
because now you think they wouldn't let you go anywhere before.
You
Yeah.
ain't going nowhere now.
You ain't
And
going nowhere now.
you really made Miss Porter your enemy at this point because now she hearing all this stuff. She know you lying, but then now you got this man head all in like, and
And
she
he done
like,
threatened her life to
and he
protect
done
you
threatened
and
her
your
like,
lie.
oh,
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess.
whew.
I
Mm.
just I just kind of I fret for whatever's gonna happen when she has this baby, because it's like with the way things are and the time period that she's in, they could very well take that baby from her and she really could have no recourse.
Yeah, yeah,
Because who are you? You're some nameless woman who got dropped into our lap.
yep.
You slept with the laird, had his baby. So now we're just gonna keep the baby. We're gonna throw you out on the street because who are you now but a vessel to us? I mean,
Yep.
that's literally the mindset he could have. I don't
Which,
think Brian would let that happen, but again,
yeah,
Brian now is at Beltane.
yeah. But also,
So
she didn't consider that. That's a very valid point that he could have been happy to have a kid, but he didn't want her once it was done. And what was she gonna do if they did kick her out? And then what's his name? Bullock, whatever his name is,
Balak
Balak. Take her off to the side of the road and drop her somewhere where she can't find her way back,
or
Right.
kill her. They
or
could
kill
just
her,
kill her.
or kill her. Yeah, because he clearly has no problem with that. You
Right.
know.
But I think probably for her, I don't think this was something she planned. This was something that she ended up doing because Miss Porter told her, okay, you can either drink this tea or the laird can get rid of the baby for you because you being pregnant, you're not going to be any good to us. You're not going to be able to do your chores, blah 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 blah. Just like now,
Another mouth to
you know,
feed.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lord Lovett is like, okay, you're going to make sure all her chores are done for her. She's not going to do it. Like knowing that this is not your child, you're still giving her all of the accommodations. Again, I feel like, yeah, something like that could happen. But I think maybe even when Julia did that, maybe she was thinking that she wouldn't be there that long. Maybe she was hoping that that she and Henry would have already found each other by then and they would have gone back to Claire and everything would have been okay. So I really don't think she was thinking long term. I think she
yeah,
was looking at, okay, this is a problem right now that I need to solve to keep my baby safe.
right, yeah. I don't know. Oof. I just That's just very scary
Yeah.
that they just really
Yeah.
have no qualms with murdering people and raping and
None.
all that.
And there's no
Just,
law. There's really no
just,
law to tell them that they can't do that.
yeah,
You know, they what is it? What is it that they call it? Clan justice?
yeah,
If they feel like something needs to be done. And most likely clan justice would be if it comes out that Julia lied about the baby being his, they're gonna seek justice against her,
yeah.
not him. They're gonna seek justice against her. So yeah, that's gonna be complicated, especially because she's so close now. Again, wow, they've been gone for months. They've been there
Yeah,
for months. That's crazy. Um,
I hate it.
the only other thing that I really want to talk about, again, I think we mentioned this before. I am really enjoying this kind of pseudo bromance with Ned and Henry. Like
Yeah,
these are two
yeah,
people who are on opposite clans, but you see that
Mm-hmm.
they kind of have a bond, and I like that. And I need to know who this person was that Ned Gowan was in love with, because
oh, I
I
know.
have a soft spot for Ned Gowan. You
That's,
know,
yeah,
he's been there through all of their trials and tribulations, and it's so funny because I was rewatching Outlander season 7 for Dragon Con, and it was the episode where Jamie is meeting with Leary to sign over Balrigan to her. And
Uh-huh.
mm,
it was like, uh, Ned Gowan has looked over the thing. She was like, Ned Gowan is still alive. He was like old and crotchety, but and missing a few teeth, but yeah, he's still around. And I was like, I would like to see Ned Gowan again. And again, I love the casting that they did for this show because he fits his personality so well.
yeah,
But I need to know the story. Like, who broke your heart? Did this person die? Did they leave you? What happened? I need to know. I need to
yeah.
know. But
You know
just
what's funny? I actually kind of wonder because I feel like Ned has a little something for Ellen, and I wonder if maybe Ellen's mom could have possibly been somebody he was, in love with or something.
ooh.
Um, because he does. I feel like he has this, like everybody else, he has this thing about Ellen, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like he has a thing for her, but like obviously he knows it'll never be a thing, right? But
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he had even
It
beyond,
is weird because
yeah,
in some instances when he's talking to her, it does come across like he may also be infatuated with her, but then in other instances when he's talking to her, it's almost paternal.
yeah.
So
It's
it
like
is
he's
a
stepping
very
in for
weird
Red Jacob,
dynamic. Yeah.
right?
So it
Yeah.
could be her mother he was in love with.
That's what I'm thinking because that story, oh, so sad.
I know. I know. But I
Mm,
and it's even more sad because he's basically like trying to tell Henry like it might be time for you to let this woman go. But this is something I've wondered. Henry is not telling anyone that this woman is his wife. Why is he not telling people this? He just keeps telling them that he's looking for a woman, looking for a woman.
right.
Tell these
Yeah.
folks you're looking for your wife, your pregnant wife. That might ring some bells with people.
Yeah.
Pregnant English woman, but
Well,
perhaps.
that's why it was funny when she said the black lady, the black proprietor is like, British woman with kind eyes, I got you. And I was like, oh Lord, she done found some saucy nut roaming the countryside, roaming the highlands.
When I tell you, I was so mad when he walked in that room because I was like, I know
Huh?
this is not Julia. Who did he get? And when she walked out, like nothing against the whore, nothing against her, but I was like, I you saw how Henry's face fell, and I
Oh
felt
my
so bad
gosh.
for that girl. But I'm like, but you knew you weren't what he was looking for. But
Oh
why are
man.
you not telling folks that you were looking for your wife?
Like she wouldn't be a whore lady. That's not what she would be doing, you know.
Well, that was the thing. He was like, have you ever wanted something and didn't want something at the same time? He was like, because I would have loved to have found her, but I think it would have broken his heart if he had
Yeah.
found her there, because it really would have been one of those situations where she probably wouldn't have had a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, if the crofter and his wife didn't knock her upside the head and bring her to the Frasers, where would she be right now? She could have ended up there
Yeah.
easily. If someone else had found her on the road, let's say if Balak had found her on the road, someone like that, she could be dead in a ditch somewhere.
That's true. That's very true. Or like you said, they could have sold her out to the whole house, and then
Right.
because they clearly have no problem with taking people's autonomy and just being like,
And
"Oh, you're
selling
mine
folks.
now."
Like, I'm gonna just grab Dina off the side and go, here you go.
You can have
Give me
her
a couple of coins for her.
for some
What?
coin.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great. Thank you.
I
I
know.
needed a job.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked this episode. I really did, but also there were Murtaugh.
There was a lot of pain.
Michelle, I thought about you. I was like, I said, I know she over there crying in her cups about Murtaugh.
Yeah, that's why I sent you a text message. I was like, I'm done.
She was like, I'm done. I can't watch this show.
I'm done. Mm-mm.
She was like, I can't do it.
Mm-mm. I turned it off too. I was like, nope. Mm-mm. Nope. The pain. And then, okay, I got a side note. Okay, so when the ladies came out to dance at the end,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
thought, like, so when did they have dance practice?
How they just know?
They were all together. I don't know
I
what
think
y'all,
it's
but
one of those things where that's one of those
yeah,
things that's kind of like passed down from mother to daughter to
no, ma'am. They had to meet every Mondays when the sun is at the highest. We were doing it all together. We knew when to turn left, when to turn right. We practiced this. I love it.
I mean, they probably have a little group that gets together and do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And learn it. I just thought of it as they were doing it. I was like, that just tickled me.
Yeah.
But they're
But
just
I
like
did love seeing it. I mean,
it
that
Yeah,
was
whole
I
pretty.
do.
Beltane
It
celebration
is
was
very much
beautiful.
so.
Like it's and it's the same thing from like the original one. The people in the square. So I like that they did that callback to kind of show it's been going on for a long
For a
time.
long
And
Yeah.
time.
But I'm so glad that wasn't a wedding, because when they started this episode out and Ellen was doing her dress fit, I was like, are we doing a wedding already? Like, what is going on? What did I miss? I was like, because I don't think I remember her actually getting married to Malcolm Grant. And I was like, what is going on? And then, okay, here again, Jocasta coming in all snarky.
Friggin' Jocasta. Pain in my existence.
That's okay.
It's just hard. That's why I like shows like
Yeah.
this though, because it's hard to just hate people.
Yeah.
Like there's some like Simon Fraser, like he gets all the hate. Like there's no redeeming qualities for him. But like I really can't hate Jocasta. I really can't hate like Malcolm. There's people that are probably really crappy people, but when you see their backstory and all the things they've had to deal with, I can't hate Davina Porter because I feel like she a woman in that time, and she been there her whole life probably dealing with this same shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't hate her.
And
I'm
as
mad
always,
at her, but I can't hate her.
I can't hate Frank.
You know what?
I know, because it wasn't his fault. And he actually was a decent dude, but also that Jack, what was his name?
Black Jack Randall.
No, I hate him now. That's okay.
That mofo.
That one right there.
Yeah. And Archbug, we can hate him because I don't see anything redeeming about him yet.
Yeah.
So we can hate him too.
Yeah.
But
he can kick rocks.
Yeah.
But it's just so many good characters that are just, they're not horrible people, but they are. No. And I don't know, it's just hard.
Yeah. Because even going back to the whole Miss Porter thing, it's like, I think we talked about in the last episode, like you see this woman is alone. She's kind of a fish out of water. She's pregnant. You could help her out. But again, going back to what we were saying as well, if Miss Porter's position is so precarious that her opening her mouth could like she can be threatened to be killed or be put out on the street, she probably is just protecting her standing, her place, and her son's place. And it's like that kind of that kind of environment doesn't really foster okay, let's stand up for each other, let's take up
Let's
for
be
each other,
friends.
let's watch
Yeah,
out for each other. It literally
that's true.
is every woman for herself, and she's got to
Mhm.
think about herself. She's got to think about her child, even though he a grown-ass man, but still you got to think about what's going to happen with him if his father decides, oh, okay, you know what, I got another bastard coming. And then
Right.
let's not even talk about that. What happens if he decides, as far as Lord Lovett is concerned, Julie is a single woman. He might be like, okay, you finna marry me.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. And they can rescind the can't they rescind the unbastardizing he did? Can he just take that back and
I
make him
mean,
take away his last name again and stuff like that?
he can.
Because
I think he can keep the last name, but it's just, because you are a bastard of that last name, he's not really entitled to anything. If Lord Lovett says, no, I don't want to leave him anything, he doesn't have to.
yeah,
So that's
because
just,
I did wonder about that. Is that like one of the reasons why she also was scared? Is that he could take that away from her son, and if he gets a new son, and you know,
but he
which
ain't even got,
so
he don't have anything to give him. You lost everything because you couldn't keep your dick in your pants.
yeah, but also,
So,
yeah, also, you rather have a new conquest than to get some money to pay them bills to fix your house up.
right. So, exactly. I got to think about my needs. Sir, your roof is falling down on you.
Your
Like,
roof is falling
literally,
down.
have you seen the outside of that castle? Like, there was a shot where Julie was outside. I think it was when she was coming back from leaving the offering for the milk fairies or whatever. Half of the roof on one side of the building is gone. It's gone. Bricks are missing from the side of the building.
Oof.
But you would rather get the girl because you got needs too.
Yeah, just selfish and
That
horrible.
man's
Like,
just
how were you ever
disgusting.
a real laird? Like, how?
Right.
Oh,
Probably by taking stuff. He's so
Yeah,
disgusting.
so gross.
Anyway, do we have anything else about this episode to talk about? Because I'm really anxious to get to the next episode.
no, we hit the highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got everything because most of it was them ravishing each other on the church floor.
Right. And
And
then,
then,
devastation,
yeah. And then
loss of
learning
first
about each
love.
other after the ravishing.
Then the loss of your first love, sister sibling rivalry,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the fortune teller.
And the
and
fortune
abuse
teller.
of poor little Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like I want to go back and watch that Lord Lovett episode of the regular Outlander show now, though, and just kind of
Just to see,
compare,
yeah.
just to see. Yeah.
Actually,
So,
that's
Hmm.
a good idea. I think I want to do a rewatch of the whole series because, like, the stuff that you see and you're like, oh snap, this reminds me of so and so. Yeah,
right,
like,
Mm-hmm.
right. Especially some of the stuff that we're learning now is like when you think about the characters and where we last saw them or how we've seen them, it's like, okay, so I see how they're weaving that story. Like, I think they're doing a really good job. I will say that. But again, I think I, I need to see the transition of what happens with Murtaugh. I think that's going to be the biggest. That's kind of, aside from the Henry and Julia mystery, I think that's the biggest draw for me, is to see what's going on with Murtaugh and how he gets from here to where we got him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So okay, if you guys don't have anything else to say about this episode, we're going to go ahead and conclude here. That is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel. And you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.